Happy Saturday, and welcome to this week's Weekend Weird Files. As you know, I'm your host, Andrea. Today, I'm going to be bringing you some of my favorite weird headlines from the past couple of weeks.
Triple M Studios present the Weekend Weird Files. Here's your host, Andrea Lee.
And before I get started, I do just want to say that I am so sorry. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for not publishing an episode on Wednesday for the midweek mini. Now, my classes started this week, and you know how back to school is, and it's basically just a blur of days that are mixed with like confusion and excitement, and that is how this week has been for me. Now, I promise not to skip out next week, so let's get started with those crazy headlines. The first one, it comes to us out of Georgia, where a 23-year-old man named Keyshawn Griffin stole a van out of a crematory parking lot on Wednesday. And get this, y'all, there was a body in the back of the van. Now, when he took off in the stolen van, the back doors popped open and the gurney that the body was laying on rolled out. Well, fortunately, all that took place in the parking lot of that place, and personnel there at the facility was able to safely secure the body. Now, Stan Henderson, he's the owner of the Henderson and Sons Mortuary, and he told the media that it's ridiculous that the dead can't even rest. Well, police chased Griffin from Conyers, Georgia, to DeKalb County. Once they got there to DeKalb County, it became undrivable because apparently he hit several cars and he blew a tire. Well, after that, he gets out of the van and he runs. Now, they chased him for a while, but they lost sight of him. And he was on the run for a couple of days, but he finally turned himself in, and he's now in custody. I just can't even imagine why somebody would just pick something out of funeral home to steal, but I guess if you're desperate, you're not really noticing like where you're stealing something from. But anyway, now we're gonna go from Georgia to Maine, and the people there are trying to solve a big yellow mystery. A 25-foot rubber ducky, it's a rubber duck, sorry y'all, appeared in a busy harbor in Belfast, Maine, and no one knows who put it there. The giant duck is apparently anchored in shallow water between a pedestrian bridge and the town landing, and since it's not a navigational hazard, the harbor master, her name is Catherine Given, she says that there's no hurry to remove it. Plus, she says it seems to make the people of the town happy, and they want it to stay there. And I should mention, too, that on the chest of this 25-foot tall rubber duck is emblazoned the word joy. So, I mean, who couldn't be happy with, a big old rubber ducky out in the water? Now, in Florida, a 38-year-old woman who was virtually visiting an inmate ended up behind bars herself. According to authorities, Danielle Ferrero is seen on camera exposing her breasts and pleasuring herself. She and the inmate had a sexual conversation for about an hour before she started touching herself. She was seen rocking back and forth in her seat as a form of masturbation. She also lifted her shirt to expose her breast to the inmate 3 different times during that whole call. Or I think it was like a video call. Now, Ferrero's been charged with exposure of sexual organs within a public place and violation of probation or community control. Now, what I have found, it didn't really answer my question, but it just makes me wonder if now she's going to be a registered sex offender for doing something so stupid. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm sure they had their reasons, but God, think people before you do stuff, I mean, that sex offender listing is forever. And finally, a story from South Carolina, and this one happened not too far from where me and Alex live. A man was seen in the Lawrence McDonald's. Now, this happened at the beginning of the month, but I couldn't leave it out. He was seen in the Lawrence McDonald's giving a child a tattoo. Now, not only was he giving this child a tattoo, he was giving this child a face tattoo. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 28-year-old Brandon Prescia was arrested and charged with illegal tattooing and underage tattooing. Authorities were made aware of this incident after a customer there in the McDonald's recorded the man tattooing the child's face in the restaurant and then posted it on social media. McDonald says that they're investigating the incident, and Prescia was arrested the Tuesday after this happened. I think it happened on a Friday night, and so he was arrested the following Tuesday. But he has since been released on bond. Now, there's so many questions about this that run through my head. I mean, apparently Prescia, I want to say that I read one place that he was an employee of that McDonald's, so I guess he was doing tattoos while on the clock. I'm not sure if he was even working at the time. And I'm not sure how sanitary it would be to, like, do a tattoo in public. But, I mean, in a restaurant, especially, I don't know. It's just so much that my head is like, what made anybody think this was a good idea, you know? And a face tattoo, I mean, I don't know how the child was going to hide that from their parents, because I just can't even imagine a parent giving a... Now, I don't know the age, but since the stories, that everything I've read has said a young child, so I'm assuming it's a young child, but I'm just thinking that no parent in their right mind would give their kid permission to go to McDonald's to get a tattoo. I mean, and it was beyond me that you can go to McDonald's and get a tattoo, but you can't get ice cream because ice cream machine's always broke. So anyway, that's just my ramblings. Well, I'm going to stop rambling because that's all I've got for today. Don't forget to come back on Monday for our all-new Mystery, Murder, and Magic. And don't forget that this coming Friday, we start an all-new sideshow called What the Friday. Have a great weekend, and thanks for hanging out with me.